The small town of San Isidro in Laguna woke slowly at dawn. Mist hovered over the rice paddies, and the morning air smelled of dew, soil, and something sweet drifting from a tiny bakery. Ethan Cole, heir to the Cole global cocoa empire, ran through the dirt roads, heart pounding, chest heaving. He wasn't running toward safety, he was running toward her. Her name was Grace Hollis, and she didn't know it yet, but she had already captured him. Ethan had arrived in San Isidro looking for peace. He didn't want fame, power, or wealth. He wanted anonymity. But the moment he stepped into Grace's bakery, kneeling beside fallen trays of warm pain de sal, something shifted in him. Grace had flour on her cheeks, hair tied messily, and a glare sharp enough to cut glass. But beneath that fire, Ethan sensed warmth, humility, and a kind of strength he had never known in the boardrooms of Manila or New York. "You're blocking the oven breeze," she said, tossing him a rag. "Clean it up or buy something." He blinked, startled. No one had ever spoken to him like that. Not his father, not the executives, not even women in high society. Grace treated him like a man, not a prince. That morning, as he helped her pick up the bread, something inexplicable stirred inside him. He didn't just want to stay, he wanted to belong. Days turned into weeks. Ethan returned every morning, initially for breakfast, but quickly for Grace. He watched her laugh at the smallest things, heard her quietly pray before opening the oven, and felt the steady rhythm of her life wrap around him like a warm blanket. She didn't know who he was. He liked it that way. He was just Ethan, a man who laughed when flour dusted his hair and who watched her face light up when a loaf came out perfectly golden. One humid afternoon, she caught him staring. "You like watching me work, ha!" she teased. He smiled. "Not just watching. Learning." She raised an eyebrow. "Learning what?" "Baking." "Learning how to live," he admitted softly. Her breath caught. That wasn't something a man of his world would ever say. And yet, here he was, vulnerable, sincere, utterly human. But peace, as always, is fragile. One evening, the roar of a black SUV shattered the bakery's quiet. 3 men in suits stepped out, scanning the street. Grace froze as she overheard their leader speak. "Sir Cole, your father demands you return to Manila immediately. The engagement is in 2 weeks." Grace turned to Ethan. Her chest tightened. "You lied to me all this time." "I wanted to tell you," he said, taking her hand gently. "Don't," she whispered, tears stinging her eyes. "I don't mix with people whose world could swallow me whole." Ethan's chest ached. Never before had anyone pushed him away, yet here she was, the only person who mattered, afraid because of who he was. That night, Ethan stayed outside her bakery, watching her silhouette through the window. She cried silently over fallen dough, unaware that he was just as broken. The next morning, Don Alejandro Cole, Ethan's father, arrived with security, his presence commanding the entire town. "You! Stay away from my son!" he bellowed at Grace. She knelt, shaking. "I didn't know who he was. I never wanted anything from him." He grabbed Ethan's arm. "We leave now." Everyone expected Ethan to obey. Everyone, except Grace, who was trembling but refused to step back. "No, Dad," Ethan said, eyes blazing. "I'm not leaving Grace. I'm not marrying the woman you chose. I want a life built on love, not deals. I want her." The town gasped. Ethan took Grace's hand, holding it tight as if it were the only anchor in the storm of his life. Grace's tears flowed freely. "Ethan!" she whispered, her voice breaking. "I'm yours," he said, leaning in. Their foreheads touched. Her warmth seeped into him, grounding him in a way no empire ever could. Then, as if fate could not resist drama, a shot rang out from the street. Ethan instinctively pulled Grace behind him. A stray bullet shattered the bakery window, sending shards everywhere. Heart hammering, he pressed his forehead to hers. "Don't move," he whispered. I've got you. Her hands went to his chest. Then don't let go. In that moment, amid chaos and danger, love wasn't just an idea. It was a lifeline, a heartbeat shared between them that nothing could sever. Weeks later, San Isidro saw a different bakery. Panaderia and I Rosa was thriving, now with a new sign. Cole and Hollis, artisan bread and chocolate. Ethan and Grace worked side by side, laughing, teasing, stealing soft kisses when no one was watching. They had survived the chaos, the lies, and the expectations of the world. Even Don Alejandro eventually visited. He bit into a cacao pan to Sal and muttered, maybe you didn't trap him after all. Grace smiled. I didn't trap him. We saved each other. Ethan pulled her into his arms, pressing a kiss to her lips. I love you, Grace Hollis, and I will never leave you. She smiled, resting her head against his chest. I love you too, Ethan Cole. We're in this together. Two worlds collided, storms passed, enemies vanished, and love endured. A billionaire heir and a humble village baker had built a life of their own, proving that love, above all else, could conquer fear, danger, and even destiny itself. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss out. More amazing stories are coming your way.